So unfortunately, we realized that game one wasn't castable. We just didn't have the um, the match IDs to cast it. So and there's an error, with it. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a highlight reel from this game two before we end up getting into the game two here. So we're going to give you the kind of the first person perspective here of what it's like to be in the SLL games, So we have this moment from Turtles Tots here from the perspective of Joy of Gaming, their mid laner, on the Sienna. So we're gonna get to kind of see just a little bit about how playing against this Persephone can be a little tricky. So let's go
Watch
right
out, there's
into this
so many
clip.
plants in the back, though. We got him, we got him.
I don't have ult.
Watch out for the plants.
No, I know how to dodge them.
Sound careful, you're taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
yeah. We're not.
Okay, back up, stop. You're gonna get ulted. Okay, dude.
Listen, dude, I did not expect
They're
that.
one of their purple.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
all right, I love my tots. Believe me, I do. But don't say you got it when you don't got it, okay?
I think I think we're gonna need kind of like a slow motion, kind of recap, of how this happens here. So we're gonna go to the eye in the sky here, Danny on the cameraman here, looking to try and get a slow motion view of this.
So we see here they're gonna go walk back into lane, right? And we hear
Does a good
so
job
like say
sidestepping. Yeah, he does a good job sidestepping that plant. So if we pause for a quick second here, this is the moment where he says, "Hey, it's okay. I know how to dodge these plants." All right. So now we start to kind of see what happens here. So let's keep going through it, Slomo. So I think this is about the point where he went, "Huh, okay, maybe I didn't dodge that one." But
I can dodge the next one.
I still know how to dodge these plants. It's, I'm practiced in it.
Or maybe not. Let me run away.
Yeah. Backs up a little bit. Now this to me is the point where he's like, maybe I don't know how to dodge those plants as well as I thought I did, right? I feel like that's like kind of the like the turning point of this whole thing. And then that comes out as well, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I definitely did not know how to dodge these plants, right?" So the retreat happens here, and he decides he really wants to heal up off the tier 1 tower, right? So the 3 drops, and then he starts to try and step around, and unfortunately, the Persephone ult is going to catch him going downtown. But I mean, again, it's we mentioned it in the first game, man. If you're not used to playing against Persephone that much, or you don't have a lot of practice with it, it can be a nightmare. So let that be a lesson to all you kids watching along. Ban out
Remember, guys. Remember, okay, this is the second game. Unfortunately, the first game wasn't able to be played. We noticed that after we had recorded, and we're like, oh, the game IDs are switched. Please, for guys, for the love of heck, put the IDs in order so we're not, guessing them around. But also, we've only showed this clip because their entire team told us, "Hey, if you have time, can you do a play-by-play of this kit?" And believe me, it's all well and fun.
We had the agreement of the team, to post this, and we're very big on not trying not to single anybody out, during these games. We're all everybody's here to learn. But we do know them. And they okay, the goofiness, of this clip. So all right, hello everybody. Welcome to another set in the Smite Little League Season 6. As always, I'm Von Beast Mode, my cohort, my compadre, my partner in crime, Turtle Chi.
Hello.
And this week we're looking at Turtles Tots versus the Wolf Pack. And we're going to hop right into the picks and bans here. So I mean, this is exciting. I mean, this is going to be one of the first sets for this season that's been played on the season 8 turtle. Are you excited?
Oh, for real? Yes, it is. Well, one of the first ones that we're gonna be broadcasting here. I'm excited. I want to see what these teams have come up with. I want to see what they have. I want to see what they're comfortable with and see how they're gonna maneuver around the map. What is one of the things that you're excited to see?
I'm just so excited to kind of see how how a lot of these teams are going to make these adjustments. To all the new itemizations and all what I mean, and all the new things on the map, like the greater scorpions and like all that stuff. And like what I mean, I'm really kind of curious to just see how how teams are adjusting to this mid season.
What do you think is one of the?
Oh no, I was just saying it seems like we don't really have the bans phase here. It seems like I think we lost that. I believe they had to reset and they just went with blind picks. So we're just kind of going through the picks, in this format. But we're not going to have the actual bans. Just wanted to let everybody know that.
No bans. One of the things that I am actually interested in that I'm actually interested in is like seeing that Wolfpack ended up picking up Persephone here. I wonder why Turtle Tots didn't believe that it was like a priority ban.
Yeah, I mean, Persephone is just like such a strong, team fight presence with her ultimate, and she suffers an absolute ton of damage. I'm interested. I'm curious. Seeing the Janice come out is I think Janice is really really strong. And I actually like. I think both team comps have some really strong options here. We see the Persephone, the Yemoja, the Sasano late game is very strong presence coming out, but we also see the Sobek and the Janice and the Sun Wukong coming out for Turtles Tots. There's some high priority picks kind of on both sides here. It's looking to be an interesting game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. I want to see what's going to be the response to Turtles Tots. I want to know if it was worth getting the picks that they had to play out this first game here. See what plan that they have, especially letting the Wolfpack have a very strong, a strong comp. But they also have Janice, which has been doing really well in the mid lane, particularly because of how big the map is right now. Right, you need to get around quickly, and he has the tools for that. And then Sobek being oppressive at the moment, being one of the top supports that you can play.
Yeah. I mean that global pressure. That comes out of Janice. Is such a strong tool to have. And so I'm really interested in seeing how well Turtles Tots can actually utilize that Janice ult in terms of rotations and like getting around the map.
Well, let's get into it. Let's see what's in store for us here in a little bit. We'll see you guys in a second.
All right. So here we are in game 1, looking at Turtles Tots versus the Wolfpack. Yeah, I mean, we kind of already talked about, the matchups in the mid lane. I'm interested to see an Artemis pick here coming out, in the dual lane. Artemis is one of those characters where if she can get to late game, she's really, really kind of dominant presence in ADC. But sometimes kind of struggles in this early going.
Yeah, and I kind of like the Sobek pick for the dual lane. Whether it was picked into for the Artemis, they need to apply a lot of pressure because her late and her team fight presence is so it's so annoying. Okay, I can't deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, she basically gets she basically gets a 5-man stun that will chase you around. I mean, it can be very difficult to deal with. A lot of poke coming out here into the dual lane of the Turtles Tots. We see Big Boy Pleb on the Sobek's kind of taking a lot of poke early.
Yeah, Slayer Boy is doing a really good job of like applying pressure where onto the Sobek and getting a lot of CC onto him, and a lot of poke was received.
lot of damage coming out here onto the Nike as well. We've seen we've seen Tony Bravo 13 here just do a lot for this Turtles Tots team these last couple games, or the last couple sets.
Yeah, he's been doing really well in his lane. So far, I'd like to see, Nike play a little bit more pressure him.
Out, and the first blood coming out to the Persephone in the mid lane of the Wolfpack here. That was a really good, and I think a lot of people will sleep on Persephone damage early. But you really have to be careful with all those, with all the flowers and the Ramble Bones. It could just output a lot of damage if you're not suspecting it.
Yeah, especially if you're not used to playing against her, right? And I think that's like one of the biggest traps that I've seen. Like if you're not used to playing against her, all of a sudden you let a Persephone through, because and I think this is where like a lot of teams fall into this trap. Maybe they don't know how to play it, and then they let her through, and then chaos ensues. And it looks like Janus is having a bit of trouble here, but he's able to get out.
Yeah. And we start to kind of see a little bit of that, just kind of the crazy survivability that Janus can bring. Being able to teleport out whenever he needs to, and etc. Ooh, that was pretty good. Tony Bravo catches the leap of Nike there and kind of just anticipates it coming, and looks to secure that kill and cleans up that the first blood for Turtles Tots over in the solo lane.
It's great. Good on them. Looks like over here in the dual lane, they're still suffering from the pressure that Umoja is giving onto the Turtles Tots. They're gonna go ahead and secure. They're gonna go ahead and secure the Scorpion here on the side.
Turtles Tots stepping back, dual lane stepping back up here, but still very poked out. Both of them are at most half health. So they're just looking to kind of just clear and then look kind of secure some of their buffs.
Right now
very low, and he secures that speed buff. He's just gonna back and reset now as well. You were saying?
No, I'm just interested to get into the team fights, because both teams are kind of now slowing down a little bit. I want to see the rotational power of Janus. I want to know if he's going to be able to ult effectively across, or if Persephone's going to be able to get into these team fights a little later and actually prohibit doing what Janus does best, and is moving people around the map using her ult. Looks like Intrusive secures both oracles here, and Dueling wanted to come and back up, but back Ravana up, but then they decided against it and just kind of go back to lane.
We're seeing a little bit of fight here coming out over these camps. Looks like Robin's just gonna back off and give them the Susano. Both junglers just go up to there. It looks like both teams are. The ult goes, splits the defenders there with the Persephone, but Susano tried to come from the back line. Yenna's gonna portal out, uses his ult to make sure he gets to safety. The mid jungle combo of Turtles Tots are very poked out during that, but again, that kind of survivability of Janus, comes in pretty big there for them.
Even though Persephone had missed ult, they had already gotten a ton of damage onto Ravana and Janus
more
there.
Than enough to clean up, yeah.
Sure. Looks like Persephone's gonna go ahead and invade here. Looks like no red buff for you, Joy. I wonder if he's gonna notice once he's gonna go over. It looks like they have the support of Artemis and Umoja. The fight's gonna break out here.
Janus is very kind of deep in their jungle right now. Looks like he might get caught out. Luckily, Janus has a bunch of good mobility. Ults come out. Husky ult comes out as well. A full rotation over here by the duo lane, coming really, really far to try and secure something. Unfortunately, I don't think they realize that Tony Bravo 13 is coming in from the back of this fight, and they might have just put themselves in a position that's a little too deep for them to handle. The ult comes out. The chase is on. PK Rulemain stays in to try and see if he can get something, and they get a full collapse in onto this Umoja, and they're going to pick up the kill of both Susano and the Umoja there. And, they kind of just it's a little risky to go that deep into the jungle without really having ward coverage. Especially this early in the game, and I think it just kind of caught him out.
Yeah, though I respect the rotation from the ADC, right? I mean, going towards the speed buff this late into the game, especially with Sun Wukong having pressure into that solo lane, he's gonna rotate over, and they expended so much, and it wasn't really worth it. They ended up evening out the gold that they were ahead by, right?
Yeah.
And so Wolfpack made a great mistake.
Yeah, and I mean, it was definitely a good rotation, coming out of the solo lane for Turtles Tots. To make sure they really were able to kind of clean up those kills in the end.
All right, awesome.
Artemis is still on level with Honor, and I mean, if you're an Artemis in the late game, especially against an Honor, I mean, being on level with him is actually you're doing pretty good. You're not really utilizing. He's not really able to utilize that bulliness, that Honor gets.
Looks like they're gonna do something about putting Bravo 13.
Yeah. Ooh, my apologies, not ults. I heard the sound. I heard the sound of sounds, and it all just sounds like thunderstorms all the time. So I'm like, that's probably his ult. But a good rotation in on Intrusive to make sure that he kind of keeps his solo lane coming up in. Artemis pre-ult stat, so when Robert breaks in, he gets trapped. It's not really gonna matter though. He's gonna pick up the kill. He uses his ult to cleanse the root from the Artemis trap. It's a good heads-up chase there by King K. Romaine picking up a kill for Turtles Tots.
And that's something I like to see, right? There's a gank in one lane, yet there's got to be a gank in another lane, right? Because there's no way, right? There's no backup coming for you for the Wolfpack. They saw Susano on solo side, and Turtles Tots went, hey, let's just go ahead and gank over here, and knowing that no one's going to be able to help. And even if there was going to be a rotation, they're going to be outnumbered.
Yeah, that's very, very true. It's that that concept of the never giving anybody anything for free.
Oh yeah, and that's something that I think as this league people need to pay a little bit more attention to, right? You don't want to just lose left and right. If you can do something about it, kind of just even the playing field, it's the best thing that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're poking out poor pleb here.
Tons of damage. Oh, and the ultimate gets caught by pleb as well, and he's gonna fall there. It's one of those things where you need practice being able to kind of just sidestep those plants effectively. I mean, it just looked like he didn't really completely
respect Persephone.
Yeah. I mean, or that he hasn't really been able to kind of practice avoiding. Bugsy ult comes out here from Susano trying to pick up Honor, who is at his blue buff or his speed up. Purple buff. I'm sorry. Ooh, the Blink comes out as well, really getting aggressive and chasing under that tower, but he does pick up the kill. He might get in trouble here now though, because Sobek is keeping an eye on him here.
He's completely deep. He should suffer from being this deep into the jungle.
Comes out as well.
And
he tries to do his best, but yeah, they are gonna secure that kill on the Susano, who kind of got caught out in no man's land.
I would have lost my mind if he got out.
I mean, he did pick up a kill there first to kind of start it off, but you know what I mean. But I think that's the second or third time now I think we've seen Susano very, very deep in enemy territory here. And they've got some things out of it, and they've lost in other situations here. It just feels like he might be overextending a little too much in these in the jungle.
Yeah, currently he's 2 levels down on this Ravana, right? And Ravana, you know, he's probably just on this trying way too hard here. I think he needs to kind of like settle back, understand that he's more of a late game god. Yes, you apply pressure when you can, and you know, and like maybe pressuring out the purple buff, maybe just securing the purple and then backing off instead of diving so deep. You know, you pick your wins, right? You have to pick and choose your battles effectively, because if not, you're gonna end up suffering really bad for it. Looks like they're gonna go ahead and get solo lane over here.
Ult come out from Susano. Yanis ult's over, and Tony Bravo manages to get out with his ultimate ability as well. Nike drops her ult, but no blood drawn here still. Looks like both teams might just decide to go back to farming and opt to kind of break this up.
My garden grows.
Looks like everybody's just gonna resume back to normal. You know, just kind of. I'm not sure what. There was a nice counter rotation by the Wolfpack to kind of prevent anything bigger that happened. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like Joy of Gaming started that rotation first with his ult. Right?
Yeah. No, I believe you're right on that.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, it's good. You know, it's good that both teams are really trying to kind of make these rotations. You know what I mean? I mean, and looking to kind of help out these sideline lanes, you know, as much as they can. You know.
And right now, Artemis has a level lead on.
Susano very, very deep, too deep, I would say, in the jungle here. Luckily, his 3 might manage to get him out, and I mean, you know, Susano does have such great mobility, but I mean, man, is he really, really relying on it? You know, in some of these instances.
No, a well calculated Sobek pluck, right? And if he's positioned just the right way, that could spell doom for Susano here. Again, you know, he can apply pressure and he try to take the camps, but I feel like, and no offense to Intrusive, like, at all, I feel like he could go about it in a different way, right? You know, it's way far too risky, you know. Right now we have Nike here.
T1 and T2. I mean, she's about to get full collapsed on as well. I mean, 4 members show up, and it looks like, I mean, her ultimate just drops to try and make sure she's okay. Pluck comes out from Sobek, pushing her right back into enemy territory. I mean, again, it's just a lot of overextension coming out of the Wolf.
Looks like they're gonna go ahead and try to do gold.
Yeah, in response. You know, which is a really good call on this part. Honor is really the only one here at the moment to secure this, but I mean, might not matter. The rest of the crew's showing up now as well. Turtle's top does manage to steal the Gold Fury. Honor is going to get picked off by the Artemis ult, though, as well. And Big Boy Pleb will get a secure kill on Remarkable Wolf. Intrusive is kind of in the back, just looking like he's trying to get something happening, but Tony Bravo rotates as well and picks up the kill onto him. So, I mean, it was a Gold Fury and 3 kills to the 1 going the way of Turtle Tots. I mean, that is a pretty big swing from, you know, what looked like in the beginning, you know, a clean, almost a clean Gold Fury.
Yeah, no, and this is like, I gotta give it to the Wolfpack, right? Once they noticed that 4 members were on the right side, on solo side, trying to deal with Nike to immediately pull that Gold Fury. Unfortunately, you can't leave, you know, the On Her there. And even though, granted, I don't believe the On Her secured it with ult, right? A lot happened in that second. I saw Yamulja walls go up. I saw Janus ult fly through. I saw and
yeah, no, a lot was going on for sure.
So like you can't why risk it, right? We've seen plays like people lose objectives to even to like a Fafnir hammer, right? Why risk it?
Yeah.
Why not collapse onto the On Her? And but again, great job from the Wolfpack for immediately realizing though that they could have done it, but they also have to also recognize that that Turtle Tots also has a Janus. It looks like they're gonna go ahead and collapse on this poor Nike again.
And between the T1 and T2, I know it's pretty crazy. You know, I mean, although they do have the numbers to kind of retaliate here this time. Lots of ults are expended here, though. Persephone ult, any Mojo ult, two of the big team fighting ults are down. And it looks like, I mean, Persephone's going to get picked off here. She does go into her passive, so she is still technically around for a few. Yamoja gets picked as well. I mean, it's just so much overextension coming from the Wolfpack here. I mean, again, no Nike and Sasano are just strong, safe characters to play a lot of the time due to their mobility and their kits. But man, they're risking it for the biscuit with a lot of these positioning.
Yeah, even when like Yamoja had to give credit like to Slayer Boy, he had a great ult there, but it cut a lot of people off, but it wasn't enough to really like to kind of counteract what was happening there. Again, like if we look at Wolfpack's comp, they're more of a late game oriented comp, and they're playing as if they had the Robina and the Honor on their second team, right?
Very true. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like both teams are playing the opposite play style that they're looking for, and that they would be looking for normally with the team comps that they have.
Again, like Sano's over here trying to get Greater Scorpion, but he's alone, and yeah, he may have secured it, but it looks like he's gonna get away with it for free. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Looks like they're gonna secure the oracles here. Kind of secure both teams, kind of just securing their own farm. Looks like Turtles Tots is trying to get ward presence around the fire giant here. Now that those Greater Scorpions are down, it's the next big objective on the map. It's the last big objective on the map currently, actually. Bunch of pings coming out here as well, kind of just pointing out where looks like the enemy's going to stim to, and it does. I mean, the Robin's level 16 now. I mean, he's got a pretty solid lead over this Sano, and it's going to come in handy. Persephone's going to go down. Yenis is going to clean that kill up. They're going to engage pretty hard here. Yamoja ult drops, but it's not enough to save her. Troy picking up a double kill. Sano ult's going to drop as well, looking to see if he can make anything, salvage anything out of this. There's just not going to be enough. They did a really good job of making sure that they were leashing that properly before the minions got in, so they didn't even really take a ton of damage. Sobek is a little low here, and the mid lane is about half, but everybody else is at full health. So they're going to walk right over to this fire giant.
Great job on their part, dude. Turtles Tots immediately pointed out the Persephone and tried to get rid of most of the DPS that's been happening in these team fights. And it was great that they collapsed on them quickly and were able to take that mid tower. It's gonna put the Wolfpack at a disadvantage here because they can't really be there on time. Right now, it looks like Artemis is positioning to secure Oni Fury. And they're gonna go ahead and pick up. Looks like they might pick up Nike, or Nike might get a double kill here.
Nike manages to pick up a double kill. That was a really good counter engagement. She almost tried to time that leap to get the fire giant in time, just shy though. But it seems like she's gonna pay for it. But I mean, you took out the two carries really that you're worried about with the most damage output at this moment. And you kind of remove them from fire. You remove the fire buff off them. I mean, it's really not a bad trade, all things considered. Especially considering one of them was the ADC, who's going to be, one of the more driving forces and pushing down all these towers, and trying to make things happen, after the fire giant.
Of course, and the same thing happened to Turtles Tots that happened to the Wolfpack, right? How they secured how Turtles Tots secured the Gold Fury, the first Gold Fury of the game. They let a person just stand there versus trying to walk him out or try to collapse on them. Then instead they took a lot of damage from Fire Giant and they were forced to secure because if not they were going to take more damage from trying to exit the ring.
Yeah, very true. And the Wolfpack picks up the Oni Fury on the opposite side here. I mean, Turtles Tots really, really didn't have too much they could contest with in the first place. But I mean, that's a really good reaction. I mean, to Turtles Tots having the fire giant. It says, hey, we still managed to pick up 2 kills and get the Oni Fury. I mean, it kind of takes takes the immediate edge, off of them getting the fire giant in the first place.
Looks like they're gonna go ahead and collapse on King K real main here, but he's gonna blink out, and looks like they're gonna just let him go.
Well, the entirety of the Wolfpack is over here in the solo lane, while it looks like 3 of the members of Turtles Tots are pushing down this T2 over in the duo.
Yeah, Wolfpack's gonna try to get in position to see if they can defend either Phoenix or the T2 of of mid lane here. And it looks like Turtle Stars are going to go ahead and try to push for that mid wave.
And Sano pokes his head in here. Looks like he's just going back to kind of stay safe under his T2 tower after kind of sneaking into the lane a little higher than he probably should have.
I mean, that's a 5v4 with 2 members not having fire giant here. The guys gotta be careful.
Sun Wukong makes his presence known. On top of that, Thorns jumping right in, trying to just push out as many members to Wolfpack as he can. He does a great job at it. Persephone ult drops. The Artemis ult drops in the back, but this Sun Wukong is level 20 now. He's just way too big to be handled. He takes a lot of damage. Don't know if he's really going to get out, but I mean, he managed to push him away for such a long amount of time. Like, look him out, but the portal from Janice manages to get him through. I mean, Nike dropped her ult right at that time. It might have been enough to pick up the kill, but that was just good teamwork and coordination coming out between Janice and the Sun Wukong.
King K roommate needs to like start leading here now that his team full retreated. Wukong did a great job at distracting 4 of their team members, but they were also having a hard time. Turtle Stars trying to get rid of the Umoja, or trying to even take the T2 mid tower.
Yeah. Seems like the Wolfpack was able to do just enough to like to make sure they weren't really able to secure like anything off of that good zoning coming out of the Sun Wukong. Little Tots claiming the Pyromancer here just gives them some more gold and a speed buff coming out of the base as well. So we're gonna kind of get set up for this next fire giant. It's gonna be dropping probably about a minute and a half here.
Yeah, they're already positioned on the right-hand side of the map, on the fire side. They're gonna go ahead and try to push that tower down. Looks like, and probably just fall back into fire pit to like contest. On her is a little too far out to try for them to successfully get that tower. So it looks like they're just gonna go ahead and just wait for the fire giant. Can't be.
Kind of an interesting build path coming out of the Artemis. He went that oh my god, Dominance, I believe is the item name. Almost called it Deliverance. And then the Ninja Tabby, but going right into the Oboe instead of kind of trying to pick up crit a little earlier. And I think crit has become such a presence. It's kind of early going of season 8 here. It seems almost imperative, to try and get it online as fast as you can.
That's interesting, and you're right. She did opt for the elbow here. If we look at Onher's build, he already started opting for the Fail Knot and getting a Wind Demon already. So he already has like what a 40% crit chance. I missed the numbers real quick. I'm not.
The Fail Knot.
20 from Wendy. That was right. Okay, awesome.
There's just a little bit of dancing going on here around the fire giant at the moment. Both teams are kind of well aware at this point. This is gonna be the next one. And Nike gets caught out a little too close to the action. Beats Aegis come out from on her, who's trying to survive there. The Umoja walls drop, but it separates the fight in pretty unfavorable fashion, actually, for the Wolfpack here. Turtle Tots manages to pick up a couple kills. Umoja almost gets this on her with the damage, but now she is in no man's land. She's going to get picked up as well. And it's going to be a 3-for-1 going the way of Turtle's Tots. And the chase is not over yet. Tony Bravo picking up yet another kill. 6-1, sitting pretty in the solo lane. Coming out of the solo laner here. On her back, looks like she's going to come right there. He's going to come right back to the fire giant pit. That's gonna be a new fire giant for Turtle's Tots. Artemis trying to get the Gold Fury at least to just kind of start leading a little bit, in terms of gold difference here. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, she doesn't have the DPS to be able to solve the Gold Fury, unfortunately. Looks like she backed off, noticing that it was more than she could chew.
Yeah. Gold Fury hits really, really hard, by the way, now. If you're not familiar with Season 8 very much yet, it just seems like this Gold Fury's just been doing so much damage. You know, it definitely feels like it's been harder to, you know, to either solo these objectives, you know, or take them in the early goings of the game, you know, without any real contestation.
Looks like they're gonna go ahead and group up to mid here. Try to redo their siege in the mid lane. Now that one of the carries has fire. Unfortunately, Joy has ended up dying in the middle of the Umoja ult. I don't remember who killed him, but I know he was in the middle of that, and it was just horrible. Looks like they're gonna go ahead and try to group up here, try to take that last tower on solo side.
Yep. Yeah, just trying to just increase this gold lead, make sure they kind of take all the towers. You know, so trying to be, you know, as weak as possible. You know, going into this this potential Titan siege here. You know, I mean, they've got fire up for a long time. You know, they've got levels where they want them. You know, I mean, this could be a game-ending siege here. A bunch of blinks comes out. The Wolfpack deciding to be aggressive on this. Ults come out as well, and there's a lot of ults expended onto the support in the solo lane here. The support will fall for it, but the solo lane is still going to be alive. He's going to pick up. Sano is here as well. King K. Rumain kind of coming in from the back just to create some separation, and that's actually going to let them pick up the kill on this Nike as well. So what started as a strong engagement turned into a 2v1 going the way of Turtles Tots so far, and the chase is still on. I mean, Turtles Tots is getting pretty low here overall from all their members, so it looks like they're just going to kind of back off. You know, it didn't go as badly as it could have for the Wolfpack. You know, but that was definitely not the result they desired out of that. You know, it's again, we talk about it at least once every stream at this point. The number one rule defending your Phoenix is you do not leave the Phoenix. you know.
Yeah.
And they left guns blazing, right? So.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely right. Could have gotten a lot worse for the Wolfpack, but you know, it didn't. They only lost 2 members. But if you can just imagine the impact, Persephone ult under the Phoenix, right? Okay, and like just doing like consistent damage, because nobody helped out my boy, Big Boy Flynn, when he was stuck in that Persephone ult, man. He was just left there to die. Janice just said, "I'm out," and he ulted out, right? And like, you know, again, imagine if that was under the Phoenix doing Phoenix damage, and you know they were able to Umoja ult in after the Persephone ult. They were just gonna be stuck there in no man's land. Looks like they're gonna go ahead and push up mid lane here. Again,
Turtle Tots, I mean, they just invested a lot of their resources into just blind charging it. It looks like they might get caught out for it here. The Umoja walls were really, really good. It separated the backline who's going to be looking to do the damage to that tower. I mean, Honor wasn't even really to get involved at all. Intrusive is going to go down, though. Sobek managed to survive for a very long time despite being trapped under the tower, but now he falls as well. Persephone goes down. Artemis goes down. Or, I'm sorry, not Artemis. The Yanis goes down as well as King K. Rumain go down. Artemis securing the kill on that. The follow-up comes from the Nike, who managed to pick up the kill on the Honor as well. I mean, that was a huge turnaround, and you know, and I think a lot of that really started from that great Umoja ult that kind of separated that fight into what they needed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was exactly just saying into the right-hand side. I'm not sure if they changed it out. They said, you know what, or maybe their blinks weren't up and they weren't feeling as ballsy, but I'm actually, you know, happy to see that they were actually staying under the Phoenix and the fight turned a lot more differently. Now they're able to get a mid-Phoenix here if they choose to keep going.
Yeah, it looks like they will do that. I mean, Sun Wukong doing his very best to try and keep them up for as long as possible, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. And it is not. The middle Phoenix does fall.
Yeah, looks like they're going to go ahead and disengage.
Disengage, yeah. Keep in mind, the fire did just respawn now on the other side of the map, and Turtles Tots has a Phoenix down. So that's going to be very interesting, kind of leading into the rest of this.
It will be enhanced fire. I want to see what they're gonna do by the fire giant. If it's gonna be like a poke out dance, or they're just gonna go again and do. If the wolf pack, we've been seeing they like to do these hard engages, right? Like you say, guns ablazing. I want to see what's gonna happen here. Looks like they're gonna go ahead. They're not in position to defend this fire giant. Turtles Tots may just get this fire giant for free.
Yeah, man, it's like they didn't even realize it was happening.
Susano is getting in position here on the bottom left-hand side. Looks like he's charging up wall.
Ooh, tried. He just let it go a little too early. I mean, I think if he'd let it build up a little longer, get a little more damage behind it, you know, it might have worked well. But Nike trying to get out. Sun Wukong's on the hunt, managed to pick up Susano. PK Roommate managed to pick up Trav on the Nike, and Sun Wukong is just still pushing out the duo lane over here, and I mean, if you were the Wolfpack,
Yeah, they take this.
they gotta be a little bit scared right now. One side to come out. Persephone does a great job using the ult to block the block to trap stuff again, but I mean, again, there isn't enough members of the Wolfpack to keep Turtle Tots at bay.
No, looks like Turtle's gonna keep bringing it down here. But yeah.
Good luck keeping Mocha stuck in the battle, and that's going to be enough to secure that to ensure that they're not going to have enough CC to even stop this. And I mean, they're dumping all their resources now into putting this Titan down, and they do. Turtles Tots picking up game 1 of their match versus the Wolfpack.
That was an interesting game. I liked it. I liked watching it.
Yeah. For sure.
It was a fun game to watch. I loved it. It was, there was a lot. Congratulations on both teams. They both tried their hardest. Unfortunately, I think if we're gonna tear the game apart, right? I think a lot what set them behind was all those early, a lot of that early pressure they were trying to apply into those backhands and overextending. I think if they just pulled it back a little bit, maybe the goal difference wouldn't have been so staggering, and maybe these fights could have been maybe there could have been a different story to be told into this game, because right around the Phoenix fight, they weren't doing that bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think you just worded it completely perfectly. I think they threw the portion of this game where they had the best chance of getting ahead and running with their lead away by, by kind of overextending in a lot of these areas. I mean, there isn't any reason. In these really early levels of the game, that we should be between a T1 and T2 for an extended period of time. Proxying the wave, okay, yeah, that's one thing, but then you got to rotate and make sure you get out. I mean, it felt like they were in there forever. You know what I mean? And I think during the team fights towards the end, it felt a lot more even. Even while they were at a deficit in some areas, in terms of levels, so I think one of the biggest adjustments that they're going to want to make kind of going into game 2 here, is they're going to want to just pull back that aggression a little bit, making sure they're aggressive, but it's calculated. You know what I mean? They don't want to go this blind aggression route. You know what I mean? Pull it back a little bit, use your aggression effectively, and try and take a lead in this early game. And I think some of those team fights that happen in that mid to late game kind of go the opposite way.
Yeah, I completely agree. But we'll see what's gonna happen here in game 2, and we'll catch you guys in a second.